It is Sunday, July 20th, and we are looking at some concerning problems over the next couple of days. Let's pop right to these maps, and I'll show you what we're talking about. Quite a bit of moisture across a good chunk of the Midwest. The problem here is that we're going to see flooding rains. I think that's a concern. Flash flooding is going to be an issue today. Don't take just my word for it. The Weather Prediction Center really bumping things up here across parts of Missouri, also Indiana, Illinois, up to a moderate risk. That slight risk cannot be ignored either. That extends all the way to the Appalachians down into North Georgia and upstate of South Carolina, as these storms likely will form in this region and then move almost east-southeast. Big problems across this part of the country. Flooding rain also possible with some bigger storms across the Northeast, also across the Southwest, and as far north as the Dakotas. So a lot of things going on as we still continue to see this upper level ridge parked across the Southeast. With this type of setup, we're going to see more of the same. A lot of moisture moving north, a decent jet streak and jet stream moving through the northern part of the U.S. That's actually going to fuel some storms today across parts of Montana, moving east, maybe into the Dakotas as we move through the day. We're going to look at that in the video today too. But I do want to take you out just a little bit in time and kind of show you how this week's going to evolve in the upper levels. One thing that I think will change this week, it's going to get hot across some areas that may be a little humid, a little gross, if you will, with dew points in the 70s. Now you're going to bring even more moisture in. This upper level ridge is going to get really parked here across a good chunk of the east. If anything, we're now warming things up into parts of the upper Midwest, possibly into the Northeast. Another heat wave on the way through the weekend. Out ahead of this, we're already seeing quite a few heat-related advisories and warnings being issued. Flooding, certainly a concern today. That's from weather.gov over at the National Weather Service. Severe weather on the table today, too, across parts of North Dakota, South Dakota as well. Some of those could start as far west as Montana and then move east. And we're also watching these storms that will form across parts of Indiana, Illinois, as far west as maybe even Missouri, and these will drop south and east into parts of Kentucky, southern Ohio, West Virginia, even into parts of Virginia. And I think the Northeast is a big concern today, too, with the risk of some damaging winds, some hail, maybe even a few tornadoes, too. Storm Prediction Center looking at a very low risk of tornadoes, but it's not a zero threat. Also back across parts of the Ohio River Valley, back into Indiana, Illinois, even as far north as Missouri, or I should say west as Missouri, and then as far north as the Dakotas, as we watch that piece of energy move through the northern tier. Let's look at the future radar. It's going to tell a story today. It's going to show the storms that we've already seen through a good chunk of the morning across parts of Indiana and Illinois. This will work east. A lot of this is just really heavy rain. There could be a few embedded thunderstorms. We've seen a few severe thunderstorms warnings already today. I think these expand as we get into the afternoon and evening, especially as these move into parts of Ohio, southern Indiana. A decent amount of wind shear too here. That's going to allow these storms to get a little bit stronger as we move into the afternoon and evening. The timestamp is above my head. It's Eastern time, so here we are at 6 Central, 7 Eastern. The storms start to move into parts of West Virginia, Western Virginia again, parts of Tennessee. Heavy rain also across parts of northern Missouri. It doesn't really move too far to the south, so a lot of Tennessee, southern Missouri, down into Arkansas staying dry today. Another dry day across the south. It's getting a little bit too dry for some standards. Some folks ready for some rain. I think things do start to change up just a little bit as we head into Monday. Our Bear Clinic zone, our thunderstorm boundary starts to move a little bit further to the south. Now you can see this. We're pushing at least a chance of some rain a little bit further south into Tennessee, Alabama, and into Georgia. It's sporadic, certainly not a widespread stratiform type rain that spreads out across the region, but there is maybe some relief to the dry and the heat. Now we're moving into Tuesday. Again, a lot of this is in question. Will we see these thunderstorms develop this way? This is the HRRR pushing things out pretty far, so we'll have to wait and see on that. All right, look at these temperatures. Today, it's hot. Of course, the only relief would be to the heat would be some showers and thunderstorms. And hey, if you're checking out the live channel, thanks for coming over. You can take it back from the beginning at any time. If you're a subscriber, I appreciate it. But many folks on this channel, over half of the viewers here aren't subscribers. So if you want to support the channel, subscribe. Come on back. And join the community. Let's look at tomorrow. Things start to change. First of all, it's going to be a little bit cooler, maybe in some areas, a little bit warmer, but look at this heat building off to the southwest, back here, and also across the south. Now, as we move into Tuesday, that heat starts to lift north. Now, we're approaching triple digits across parts of Arkansas, maybe even Missouri as we head into Wednesday. That heat starts to build even further to the north. Do we touch 100 in St. Louis? I don't know, but I think we definitely get into the mid-90s anyway as we get towards Wednesday. And look, Thursday, that heat really starts to expand across the Ohio Valley into parts of the Midwest. We're talking about even Michigan could get in on the action with temperatures climbing into the 90s. A lot of heat on the way, and that looks to stick around at least through a good chunk of this week. A little bit of a different view. Let's now move into the southern plains, also into the deep south, at least parts of the deep south, Mississippi, Alabama. We'll look at that closer, but now we're looking across Texas. Most of the moisture across West Texas. There could be some heavier showers, though, back into this region and then across parts of really New Mexico, Colorado, as the monsoon kicks in. That monsoon moisture lifting north. We'll look at that a little bit closer, but overall across Oklahoma and Texas, relatively dry today into tomorrow, maybe even into Tuesday, but we're not lacking the heat. Triple digits possible again today across parts of West Texas, Oklahoma, and into Kansas. The heat is on here. Into the south, it's hot as well. Maybe a few stray showers today across the high country of North Carolina and Tennessee toward the Smokies. This diving south into South Carolina. Some of this energy may help re-energize some of these storms into the afternoon and evening, and we've already talked about this cluster to the north. Otherwise, typical showers and storms across Florida, driven by the sea breeze. We may see a few showers try to pick up again, a little more intensity across not just Florida, but further north. We've talked about this axis heading into Monday. Temperatures hot again from the low country, even into the upstate of South Carolina, back towards Charlotte. I mean, I don't know if it's going to get to 100 today, but it's going to be hot. These are modeled numbers. Tomorrow, it could get even hotter across this part of the country. To the northeast we go, where some of that severe weather could get really intense as we head into this afternoon and this evening. So watch the storms. Stay weather aware from, I think Rochester, Syracuse, a lot of that would probably form, at least from Rochester's standpoint, maybe off to your south, also Buffalo, but stay weather aware. The biggest storms really start to pick up into this region as we move toward the 3, 4, 5 o'clock hour. So into Vermont, Maine, also down into Connecticut, southern New York. Now we're looking at Pennsylvania. So Scranton, Allentown, down to Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. Those of you in Philly are going, no, we're not Pittsburgh, not even close. Yeah, all right. Got the P's backwards there. Okay, so yeah, definitely some storms moving through Philly, down into Jersey. And as this front moves through, temperatures are going to fall. So we're hot today. Again, these overnight lows start to drop across the northeast, at least heading into Monday. But look at Tuesday morning. I'm going to let this roll out. Boy, how about that? 40s and 50s across the northeast. Let's go west. We've talked about the monsoon a little bit. Those rain chances going up across Arizona today. So flooding may be possible, especially in some of the heavier downpours. So, maybe north of Phoenix, you get up toward Flagstaff, certainly a rare rain chance across eastern Arizona, out toward Winslow. Maybe we'll see some showers. That rain lifts north. More pronounced rain, though, across the Pacific Northwest as this piece of energy moves in. That's going to bring some showers. A good chance of it, too, across a chunk of Oregon. Some of that Pacific moisture really being pulled in here, and that will definitely impact the weather here over the coming days. And here is a look at your temperatures. Hot across the west, at least the far southwest. Cooler across the Pacific Northwest. We've got more clouds here. More rain, shower chances, so temperatures being held back by that. And look, even into Monday. Those of you in eastern Oregon, if you're watching it here, you know what I'm talking about. It's been so hot. You get a little bit of relief, at least for now. All right, that's all I got for the video, guys. See you next time.